All right, father-in-law offers car. Dear Billies are us. Congrats on baby number 2. Thank you. He is amazing, by the way. He is amazing, and watching my daughter interact with him is just one of the coolest things ever. She's head over heels for him. It's so awesome. Anyways, I'm 30 years old and just married the woman of my dreams. Congratulations. She loves the outdoors, is a drop-dead 10, and is in residency to become a surgeon to boot. Dude, you fucking hit the lottery. I work in the nonprofit sector and loved it, but was unfortunately laid off due to COVID. Sorry to hear that. I haven't owned a car for ages because I live in a PNW city with great public transportation. What is a PNW city? What in the fuck does that mean? That, like, I'm supposed to know that? PNW meaning. It says PNW serial killers? Oh, so Pacific Northwest. That's hilarious that I just looked up PNW and immediately said fucking serial killers. All right, Pacific Northwest city with great public transportation and protected bike lanes. Don't worry, I'm a biker who stops at stop signs and I don't wear that silly spandex shit. Dude, I love a bike lane. I wish they actually had them here in LA instead of spray painting bicycles on the street. And like, there's your bike lane. New York City has some great bike lanes where you're on the other side of parked cars. I mean, it's fucking amazing. Jersey barriers and all of that shit. Anyways, my new father-in-law reached out and has offered his 2002 Lexus with 130,000 miles on it for just below Kelly Blue Book value. It's a good deal, but I worry he might hold it over my head in some strange way. We haven't always gotten along for a few reasons. He's an asshole. He talks down to my wife. He believes if you aren't furthering science, you're not really working. Do I buy it? Fuck no. Thanks, and I hope the family is doing well. No, fuck this guy. If what you're saying about this guy, he's an asshole, he talks down to my wife, no, fuck this guy. For all you know, this is the type of guy, if what you're saying about him is true, there's something wrong with the car. You know, and I had a buddy of mine, I remember a long time ago, way back in the fucking day, a buddy of mine when I was a kid, he bought a BMW off a doctor. And we were kids, man. When I say kids, we were still, you know, teens, early 20s. And he sold it to my buddy. And I remember we were driving home. I saw this blue smoke coming out a couple times out of the back. And I was like, all right, it's burning a little oil, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, it just started sitting weird in the back. And finally, a buddy of ours knew about cars. He put it up on the lift there. And they saw that it had been in a major fucking accident and the frame had been bent. And this guy didn't disclose any of that. So the fact that this guy is a scientist, you know, and it's in defense of him in this time, if you aren't furthering science as far as working on a cure COVID, I mean, it's probably the most important work right now as far as the world economy goes. But I would not do that. I wouldn't do it. If you got money to buy a used car, I would buy something else somewhere else. Yeah, that's definitely what. Fuck that. You don't want that guy getting in any clothes. You got to keep a guy like that at arm's distance. I really believe that. You're cordial. You have to respect that is the father of the woman that you're going to marry and all of this shit, or that you married or whatever. So you always got to be respectful. Hello, goodbye, but you don't got to let him in. All right, worried about college. Okay, hey, Bill, I love the MMP, and I've watched your Conan appearances at least 1 million times. Oh, thank you. Conan's the best. I'm a 17-year-old girl, and I'll be a junior at the University of Florida. All right, go Gators, by the end of 2020. Go Gators, she writes. I took a ton of advanced classes in high school, and now I'm 3 years ahead. What? I'm a 17-year-old girl, and I'll be a junior. She's crushing it. At first, I thought this was great. The faster I start school, the faster I finish, right? I didn't want to waste my entire youth slaving over textbooks. My issue is that I've been so focused on academics that I lost out on a lot of the experiences my friends were having in high school. I didn't go to parties, prom, homecoming, football games, or even my graduation ceremony. I'll stress that this wasn't because of my parents. I'm just insanely introverted, and none of these things seemed appealing. Well, I can relate because I didn't go to most of those things either. Now I'm basically a socially awkward weirdo, and I'm worried I'll be 50 before I even have my first kiss. Everyone says college is the best time of their life, so how do I put myself out there that I can make some friends and maybe even find a special fella? Ah, that's adorable. Thanks. And I think it's pretty mean that people are always telling you to go fuck yourself. Look at you. You got a good heart. You're motivated. I'll tell you this right now. You're a catch and a half. All right? So any guy's going to be lucky to be with you. So I was totally introverted. You just have to you got to forgive yourself and not beat yourself up that you're introverted and that you're shy. So just to start putting yourself out there, baby steps. What about Bob? Just baby steps your way out there and gradually, open up. If you don't speak up in class, just say, all right, I'm going to answer one question today. And I'm going to get over that. And that's how I did it. Now I baby stepped my way into being a comedian. I started any opportunity I had to take a public, any class that I knew where I was going to stand up and speak in front of the class, I would do it. And once I made that decision, I started to have, I allowed myself to be not good at it. I allowed myself to be embarrassed, get dry mouth, and all of that stuff. Once I was just like, okay, all this stuff's going to happen, and all of this stuff is normal because of the way I'm wired. I just need to move the ball an inch in the direction I want to go every day, right? And once I did that, I grew by leaps and bounds as far as my confidence. So this is something that is a great thing that you can work on, and it's totally fixable. And then also, just start going to some Florida Gator games. I heard the SEC might have some games this year. Just go to the games. Put it out there that you want to go to the games, but you need a crew to go with. You'll fall in with some people. Now, here's the thing. Considering you've been introverted and all that, I'm a little worried that you're going to fall in, with some, I'm not worried. You know what? Here's the thing. Just go with your gut when it comes with friends, all right? If you're feeling that the people you're with are cool and they're good people and you're clicking with them, continue to hang out with them. If they're not, don't be afraid to fucking move on. It's no different than being in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend with somebody, you just got to listen to your gut. So there you go. So congratulations. You'll be fine. All right, Rambo helicopter. Bill, with your knowledge and understanding of helicopters, pretty limited, what's your take on helicopter scenes in the Rambos? Well, I always loved them, obviously. This is what I'll say about, not specifically Rambo, I'll just say in general in movies, is when somebody's getting chased and then they run over and just start up a helicopter like it's a fucking car, and then they just drive away. That's the fucking most hilarious thing, especially if it's like a turbine engine, like a jet engine. There's a whole startup procedure that I've watched. You should check it out. Look up A-Star 350 startup procedure. And there's a thing when you go to start it up where the engine is heating up and it gets up to a certain temperature, like 700 degrees, and then you have to back it down or something like that, roll down the throttle for a few seconds before rolling it back up, or you could actually burn down the fucking helicopter. You could actually have a fire because of what's going on in the background. So whenever I watch one of these movies and somebody gets in, even if you fly what I fly, there's a whole startup procedure, especially if the fucking engine is like ice cold, and you got to let the belts roll up. You got to let you roll up the power. They got a tension. The clutch light has to come out. There's a whole startup procedure. I mean, you can fucking do it. I guess you could just do it. It's not good for the engine or anything else, and I would be nervous about that. But I guess, if my option was getting eaten by fucking zombies, but even then, it takes a little bit for it to roll up to fucking speed. That's my only issue about it. And then also, whenever they shoot out the fucking tail rotor and then the person just spins and spins and spins and spins and spins, any helicopter pilot, unless they were brand new, the second you start spinning is you roll down to the detent is what they call it. So then it's basically like putting it in neutral. So now what's keeping the main rotor turning is the ship falling rather than the torque of the engine. So whatever, you've rolled down to neutral. So neither one of those, the tail rotor not working now and the main rotor still spinning, you're not dealing with the engine turning that anymore. So there's no torque wanting to turn the ship in the opposite direction that the main rotor's turning. Jesus Christ. So yeah, you would roll down, and then with your pedals, what you had left from the they shot it out. So then you don't have that. Maybe you would. I don't know. I've never had my tail rotor shot out. So anyway, it's just you know what? I talked long enough that you ended up learning what little I know about fucking helicopters. I know more than the average person, but I don't know shit. And that is a great way to go in life. Just know you don't know shit, because then you'll be open to learn new shit.